11, News Radio 1150 WJBO. Let's bring in medical expert Dr. Mark Anderson here. And, you know, I don't know if you can tell, Dr. Anderson, but Karen and I are both...
Got our drips going.
We both have our drips going, but we've got coffee. We've got caffeine.
That's what it is.
Direct infusion of caffeine going in the morning. That's what we have. How popular are these IV drips getting for things like hangovers and sunburn and stuff like that, man?
Well, there seems to be a trend, and I mean, it's we take something that's a medical benefit and it kind of gets abused or misused, and we have IV infusion in our office, and oftentimes use it to keep patients out of the emergency room and out of the hospital by giving IV antibiotics and fluids and such. But to take it to the extent of I overindulged last night and I need to get my hangover fixed is a bit much. But you're going to start seeing more and more in the spas, and when they do, then eventually you'll see some complications from that use.
Doctor, I remember when oxygen bars were the thing. Everybody was running, I need to get oxygen. I would have thought you mentioned places. Why, first of all, again, my head is, I'm just shocked that people would want to have a needle put in them for any reason. But, Kevin's laughing here. But it seems like this would be dangerous. Is this good for you?
Well, it has a place. So, I mean, starting IVs and giving patients fluids when they're dehydrated because they've had, gastrointestinal illness or pneumonia, to give them IV antibiotics, or an infection is the risk is justified by the benefit. But just to go get IV fluids because you have a hangover, you got a sunburn, or you just want to get some vitamins in there, you're going to run the risk of some of these being contaminated, and then there's going to be complications. Your comparison to the oxygen bar is there's no downside, there's no risk with the oxygen. Ooh, I got air, big deal.
Yeah, and how much are you paying for that air, by the way? It's
right.
It's like, but not to, because I feel that maybe you glossed over something that we're going to come back to right here, is that we're not talking necessarily about people going to their doctor for the hangovers or the sunburns or something. You said spas, right?
Right. So, I mean, in Vegas, they have a bus that goes around. You call a number, and they come by and pick you up, and then you order off the menu as you're going on the bus. They start the IV and drive you back to your hotel while you get your IV fluids to correct your hangover, and I presume you could probably order up some antibiotics to treat whatever STD you picked up on this trip, too.
On the bus. This is happening on the bus.
Where's licensing for this? This doesn't seem right. It seems like a doctor should be involved somewhere, somebody that has some knowledge.
Well, there is some supervising physician is signing off on that, so I mean there is going to be a liability issue, and you're going to have somebody to be held accountable, but there may not be right there at the time in ordering it. So
now, how long do you think, if this continues and somebody doesn't put a stop to it, how long before there's some sort of a home use version? In other words, if you've got this or that, and maybe not antibiotics because you'll need a prescription for it, and you would, like Karen said, you would have to have a doctor to sign off on something like that, at least as of now. But if you're just talking about fluids or something like that going in, how long before you can just, do it yourself?
Well, I don't know if you'll be able to do it yourself, but the Michael Jackson case of, I've got a doctor who's coming in and administering, IV anesthesia in my home. I mean,
that was heavy stuff too, man.
Right. So, we have home infusion therapy for patients who are ill and have appropriate IV nurses go in to give them their chemotherapy or such like that. So, again, when used appropriately and supervised by a physician, it's acceptable, and it's actually a good thing for the population and patients. When misused and abused is where you're going to see problems, but I don't think you'll ever be, get your home IV kit and start your own IV.
Yeah, I would hope not, but there you go.
Aloe vera for the sunburn.
That's right, aloe vera. Stay out of the sun.
Yes.
Try that. Don't get a sunburn. Don't get a hangover. How about that?
They're working on one now that'll have Tabasco sauce in it, so you can have that just infused straight in. You won't have to use it on top of the crawfish anymore.
Oh, no, but it tastes so good when it goes down. No, I don't want it that way.
Thank you,
All
Doctor.
Right. Thank you, Doctor. Appreciate it. Good talking to you. That is Dr. Mark Anderson, medical expert, talking about the infusion, is that the right word, of these IVs that are going around now. 816 News Radio 1150 WJBO.